Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well to this very day. That's continually feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And also Shalom to the hopeful elect that's continually laboring this work and giving diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, true sincerity, and also in all charity. Shalom. Now, topic of this video is going to be the intro to, a slew of videos that Lord's will I'm going to be going into, in which this is on the topic of questions to ask Christians. All right, and these questions are directed towards the ones who are participating in these so-called these churches here in America, the modern day church, which is if you go into the inner workings of the church in general, really, if you go into the origins of it, it really is one of the major strongholds that has captivated our people. Because if you really go into the worship of who these people inwardly call Jesus, in which he does have a Hebrew name, which that's his true name. His true name is Yahweh Shai in the ancient Hebrew, which means he delivers or he saves. But the people call him, Jesus, in which when you say that name, or you mention that name, you think about, a so-called white man with long hair. And really, that image that they get or that they worship goes back to the image that I have on my screen right now. All right, that image really goes back to a deity that was worshipped back during the time of the Roman Empire that was called Serapis. All right. We always bring out the fact of, Cesare Borgia, right? Or the Borgia family. But really, that image goes farther back. It goes back to the image of Serapis. All right. And that's what, if you really want to go into what these people really worship when they call themselves Christians, they really worship the image of Serapis. All right. In which Serapis, the origins of Serapis is that it comes from Egyptian gods. All right. It's a mixture of the Egyptian gods, and they made it into this one that you see right here because the Romans had a disdain for, so-called gods that were in a form of an animal. All right, so they made one in a human form, right, in the form of a man, which that's how Serapis came about. And then you have followers back then during that time that were known as Serapians, all right, the followers of Serapis. All right, because the term Serapis was elongated to the term Serapis Christus. Okay. So again, that's what really these people worship. They worship Serapis. All right. These people that you see going to church every Sunday, these are followers of Serapis. They don't follow the God of the Bible. All right. Because the God of the Bible, whose name is Yahweh, and his son's name Yahweh Shai, his words are completely different than the words of these so-called pastors, these leaders. All right, because when you go into the mind of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, really you'll find out that everything that you see here and is set up in society as far as modern day Christianity is completely opposite of what he has in mind. All right. And guess what? We have the mind of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and I'm gonna show you, right? Now, believe it's let me type it in because I believe I know where it is, but let me type it in just to make sure. I believe it's 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. Yep. So it's 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, in the 16th verse. It says, right, so it says, actually, I'm starting at the 15th verse, like you. It says, but he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. And that's right. That's why we can call it, that's why we're deemed as the judges. All right, because we're spiritual men, so therefore we're able to judge what's right and what's wrong. All right, but these so-called pastors, these leaders, they're not judges, man, because they can't discern what's right and what's wrong. They can't discern the things of the spirit because they're not spiritual. All right, actually, if we go out to verse 14, it's going to explain it, right? It says, but the natural man receiving not the things of the spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. All right, because they're spiritually discerned. They can't discern the things of the spirit. The only thing that they're in line with is something that things that are carnal. All right. So whenever you break down the scriptures to them, they're not going to be able to understand them. Why? Because they're natural. They're natural men. They're not spiritual. They don't operate in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So therefore, the wisdom is gone from them. Okay. So which leads right into verse 15. It says, but he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. Because the natural man can't judge, right? So he's when it comes to the natural man trying to judge the spiritual man, they can't do it. All right. And really, they don't have the I don't want to say cred, but they don't have the credentials, so to speak, or the necessary tools to be able to judge. So when it comes to judging a spiritual man, then they can't. All right, it's no way possible. All right. So verse 16, it says, for who have known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Hamashiach, right? We have the mind of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I'm reading it right now. Okay? Because if you really go into the mind of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man, it's like deep water, man. Okay? Like it's unsearchable. Actually, King David spoke about how it was. All right. Let me see if I can pull that up here. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but that's just the spirit. All right. Well, I thought it was in Psalms. Let me see if I can find it. Slacky, it's Romans. Slacky. It's Romans, the 11th chapter, and the 33rd verse. And Slacky Akim, I know I said King David, but it's actually Paul. Slacky. I was thinking it was in the book of Psalms, but it's actually in the book of Romans, the 11th chapter, in the 33rd verse. It says, oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. How unsearchable are his judgments and his ways past finding out. Right, so his ways and his judgments are way past finding out, man. And so the natural man is not going to be able to understand these things. That's why I came up with the topic of questions to ask these Christians, all right, or topics to ask modern day Christians. Okay, because more than likely, if you come at Christians with certain questions, they're not going to be able to answer them, man. Even if you go to their so-called pastor, so-called bishop, minister, not going to be able to answer these questions. Why? Because they're not spiritual. They're not spiritual, and they're not able to judge. Okay. So I'm gonna go on from there. I want to grab another precept that I had in line. It's 2 Corinthians. I'm gonna bring it out before I forget it. This is 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, and start at the 4th verse. Says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, right? Because like I read earlier, the natural man can't discern the things of the spirit, but the spiritual man is able to judge, right? It says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down the strongholds, which is by what? The spirit. All right. So it's through the spirit we're able to bring down strongholds, man. And modern day Christianity is one of those strongholds, one of the main strongholds, man. Because really, that's it actually goes deeper, right? You know, that'd be another topic for another video. But if you want to go deeper, right, it's actually going to the book of Revelations, where it speaks about the 3 unclean spirits, like frogs. All right, and one of those spirits that was set up is a part of the reason why modern day Christianity is set up the way it is. This is why this religion is set up as the number 1 religion in the world. All right, but like I mentioned before, that'll be another topic for another video. But like it says right here, it says it's mighty through the Most High to the pulling down the strongholds, right? And that's what we were set up for. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, right? And modern day Christianity is exalts itself above the knowledge of the Most High. How do we know that? Because what is actually said in the Bible is completely contradictory to what these people are saying. These people teach wayward doctrines, saying that everybody can make it, everybody can be delivered. You know, it speaks about all nations coming together. You know, doctrines like or topics like, you know, love. The Lord loves everybody. You know, He doesn't hate, or He was a so-called white man. You know, this and that and the third. You know, and other off topics as well, man, concerning that their religion. So those things are exalted above the knowledge of the Most High. Okay. Reading on, it says, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai, right? Because, and that's, and that word captivity, all right? Because the Lord is known as a snare and a gin. So if you come at us, you know, speaking about the Bible, you know, anything that pertains to the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, guess what? You're going to get trapped up in it, man. All right? You're going to get trapped, you're going to get snared, and you're going to fall backwards, and you're going to be destroyed. I'm talking about the ones that are not a part of the Lord's elect. All right, the 144,000. Okay? Now, right, so I want to go from there. Have another precept in line. This is 1 John, the 2nd chapter, in the 20th verse. Because the Lord has specifically set up men to teach this word. Okay? So therefore, you know, you have men that are actually able to break down the scriptures because the Lord gave it to them, man. Okay? And those men that I'm talking about, you see them on the highways and byways, week in and week out, starting with the apostle elders of Great Millstone on down to the rest of the other brothers, man. All right? The rest of the prophets that are out teaching this word in its entirety, all right, to its 100% fullness. And this is why, because this is 1 John, the 2nd chapter, and the 20th verse. It says, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. Right? So we have an unction from the Holy One, and we know all things. All right? So the things that are given to us by Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, we know those things. These things are sufficient for us to bring back the elect. All right? He's given us the necessary tools in order to work, so we can be able to bring back the election of the nation of Israel. All right? It's just like you're on the job, right? You only give them a certain amount of tools to work with, to start off with when you're first starting out. But when you get more experienced, then then more tools will be given unto you for your disposal. Okay? The more experience that you get. All right? Now I want to grab another precept. I believe it's in the book of Romans, the 2nd chapter. So I can grab it real quick. All right, it's the book of Romans, the 10th chapter, and the 2nd verse says, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. And that's right. They have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Okay? That's why the majority of the people that you see in these churches are what? Are people. Yeah, they have a zeal for the Lord, but guess what? It's not according to the knowledge. And guess what? And guess what the scriptures say about the ones that the ones that don't have knowledge, right? Get the book of Hosea, the 4th chapter. And the 6th verse says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children." So because of this, yeah, they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. But guess what? They're going to be destroyed for that, man. Even though they have a zeal for the Lord, they're still going to be destroyed, even though they have that zeal. Because the Lord has reserved a certain number of men who have not are not in league with Babylon, man. Okay? You know, like the scripture says that the Lord reserved unto him 7,000 men that haven't bowed the knee to Baal. And the same things today, the Lord has reserved a certain amount of men that has not bowed the knee to the image of the beast. Okay? In which, guess what? It's going to come in the form of what? The mark of the beast. All right?